So we will schedule our summative test, which serves as our final exam, no? On November 4 and 5. Okay. November 4 and 5. We have a very long content already, no? So you will have review questions. I'm going to unhide this already, no? So you can start studying, okay, for the summative test. And then our summative test will be scheduled on November 4. The review questions, let me edit this first. Okay. Okay, we can set this until November 3, no? We can have this on November 4 until November 4, no? Okay. 6 a.m. We'll open this already open, and then yeah. Unlimited, no? Do you now have your review questions? Okay. And then our exam will be on November 4 and 5. So we'll have to hurry with our, we have to hasten with our coverage. No? But assuming that you are doing C++ programming, no? We could do this quicker than expected. Okay. Any questions so far? So we could have this on November 4. 6 a.m. and we could finish this on November 5. 2 days lang ito, no? The final grade is due on November 8. Okay. At 12 o'clock in the evening. And then you will have 3 attempts as usual. And then review options, let's check. Yes, that's correct, no? So November 4 and 5 will be your summative test. Now, 70-30 tayo, no? 30% of your grade will be taken from the programs and 30% will be taken from the summative test. It's okay because it's summative in nature, which means it covers all topics starting from the beginning, no? Let me just edit that again. Make sure. So November 4, November 5. I'll submit your grades, no? As much as possible, I'll try to submit your grades by November 8. Everyone, okay? Now, all the JavaScript assignments, the programming assignments are already there. I've set them to be submitted by November 3 to give me time to check your programs, okay? Now, I have given you a simple quiz which asks for your website, no? I have shown you how to create a website before, no, in W3 Spaces. Okay. So I am now asking you to create your website there now. Let me check, no? Let me check if some of you have already or no already have your websites, okay? Because that's the way I'm going to use that to check your programs. Okay. So we have discussed JavaScript now, introduction, and a very important part of this is the document that write function of JavaScript. It allows us to edit the HTML. Okay, where's that? Ito na. Let me check. So there's only 43 for yet. No? Now you will not be allowed to take the summative test if you do not have a website. Okay. Okay. Let's check Mercado. For example, this is the web space of Mercado, Kurt Lewis Mercado. No? So ito, no? Okay. So meron na siya, di ba? You follow? Okay. In my case, I'm going to show you to show my examples here. No? Okay. My examples, I'm going to show it here. No? Do you follow? Any questions so far? Okay. So ayan. Oh, meron pa siyang picture, no? And then I'll ask you. You can create. By the way, in W3 schools, you will have you will have a lot of templates, no? Which you can use, no? So you can search that in W3 CSS templates, no? Okay. So these are the examples, no? To allow you to make good websites, okay? Do you follow? Kung gusto nyo elaborate, okay? Like this. Okay, what you do is, for example, let me copy this, no? You can do the demo. This is the demo of the website, no? Actually, you can right click and view the page source. This is the page source. Okay, they follow. Or if you don't like to do that, no, what you do is okay, you can try this yourself, no? Okay, here's also the source, no? You can copy this and then go to your website, for example. You don't have to worry about W3 spaces. You don't have to worry about the source code because I have a copy of that now. Okay. You log in, no? If you haven't created a login yet, you use sign up, okay? You can use the email that you have in your Adu email, okay? For example, I'm logged in, okay, and then I can go to my files, and the index.html file is the beginning, okay? I think I have it here, no? Nandito yung aking. You can easily search that anyway. No? You don't have to be afraid. You can easily search the drop down. No? So you go back. That's the problem. This you have to, and then you edit your index.html. Use this. Okay. You can delete the whole content and paste. Okay. Paste this, no, and then preview. Okay. So now you have your elaborate website. Okay. What I'd like you to do is to add something here, no? Okay. To add something here, your assignments. They follow. So it's very easy to make a website, no? So you can have okay. This is the old one. Just refresh, no? So this is now my new one. Okay. They follow. So you can edit this web. You can view the page source, no? Okay, this is the page source, no? So there's an href. Now the blank space there for the link. You can change this to another file, okay? Any questions so far? No? So you're all required to create your own website because this is where you will launch your assignments, no, in JavaScript. And this is where I am going to, also check Okay? Check your assignments. No? I'm going to score the way they look in the actual website. Any questions so far? Okay? No? So let me check others. No? Tingnan natin yung iba. No? Who else? Okay. Yanto. Do you already have? So no website, no final exam. No? Sino pa bang meron? Okay. Wala pa masyado sa group ninyo, no? In the other class, there's a lot of them already, no? So you have to do some work. Okay? Kasi there's so few, no? Okay. Yanto, let's look at your website. Ito kay Yanto. Let's look at that, no? Okay, that's good enough, no? But you can search for some templates. Okay, you can search for some templates in W3 schools. Okay, so you can paste in your website and then you will have now an instant web page. You can use that publicly, no? As long as you don't exceed 5 MB. Okay, so take note, ha? No website, no exam. Okay. Wait lang. Problem about that. No? Okay, I'll do that later. No? Sorry about these emails. No. So anyway, I have introduced you. I have introduced how to make W3 school spaces. No? So just go to w3spaces.com. Okay. You can sign up. No? Use the email that you have for Adu, and then or if you want to, if you already have one, you can log in like me. No? So I have W3. This is my spaces. You can get more, and then these are the files that I have uploaded. The important part is the index.html. Now it has a star there because this is your home page. Okay? Do you follow? Any questions so far? So now we will proceed with our normal lesson. So last meeting, we have introduced basic HTML. No? We need HTML because we cannot do JavaScript without HTML. Without HTML because JavaScript is embedded inside an HTML document. Okay, so HTML are documents that can be processed or that can be rendered by a browser. Okay, they are usually housed in a server and transferred to your browser as soon as you get the URL in the address line here. It's called the Universal Resource Locator or the URL. Do you follow? Okay. So what are the basic what are the basic HTML tags that we have indicated? We have header tags, paragraph tags, no? Okay, and so on and so forth. And then how do we introduce a JavaScript? We'll use a script tag. Okay, a very important function from JavaScript is document get element by ID or document.write. Okay, do you follow? So we already have for example, I would like to get the sum of two numbers. No, let me do that first in my home website. No, anyway, I can copy the part. No, I can Google for W3 drop down. Actually, I already have that in index HTML. Okay. So I have here drop down. No. Okay. Okay. The whole, we can try this ourselves, because it contains uh, the whole, the whole style sheets. Yes. No. Okay. So my style sheets, I can copy this. Okay. And then go to my W3 spaces. Where's that? Okay. There it is now, my index.html. I'm going to edit this. Don't be scared if you lose the whole document, because there's a lot of it. Okay. So title is JR Heralde. This will appear in the tab, no? Personal. Okay. You follow? So this is a class, no? Disregard what a class is. It's just a class from the styles of W3 schools. No? Okay. Okay. This is a drop down button. I'll say my examples. So, my JavaScript examples. Okay. Good. Sorry. We'll leave this example to open the page. Okay, to open the page. Okay, so okay. We'll remove this first. No? Ahref is a tag. No, it's a tag. So for example, we can have add to numbers that HTML. This is a case sensitive. No, okay. And then we have this will be the title of the button. Add to example 1. Example number 1, add two numbers. Using prompts. Okay. Okay. And then let me save this and preview. Okay. JavaScript examples. No, then example number, add two numbers using prompts. So there's an error because I made an incorrect link to my okay. So let's look at the add two numbers version 1. Ito, no? I can edit this myself. Add two numbers v1.html. Okay. Okay. So this is an example of a JavaScript, no? Okay. When in here I have an h1, which is just a header. I have explained what a header is, and I have a button. Okay, and the name of the button is compute the sum. Okay, this is the name of the button, and on click I have described an event which is on click. This on click event specifies the JavaScript function which will be called when the button is clicked. Now, you can start writing your JavaScript programs anywhere. Like, for example, you can start it inside the body. You start it with a script tag, you end it with a slash script tag, no? So this is like a C++, no? However, the main difference is in the declaration. JavaScript is a typeless language. When we say in C++, we say car A, but in here we say let A equals blank string. Basically, this is now a string. Okay, and then we say x is equal to 0. X is made into an integer by assigning a 0. So A and B here are strings, x and y are zeros. Okay, are integers. Okay, and then I say A equals prompt the first number. This will ask for a value, and B prompt the second number, which will ask for another value. And we say x equals parse int. We can also say let a. This will convert a into an integer. Parse int is a JavaScript script function which will convert a string into an integer. No? So part y is converted, rather b is converted into an integer, and you say let z equals x plus y. This is the assignment statement. Okay, ended with a semicolon. And then we say document.write. Document.write is a JavaScript function which will allow you to add lines to your body. Do you follow? So this will add the body, an h2 which says the sum is, and whatever the value of z is, ended with a h2 and followed by a br. And then followed by an href which is index back to home page, which is index.html. An ahref is a tag which will allow you to transfer from one page to another. Okay? Do you follow? Which will allow you to, in fact, no, in our index.html, we have the same, no? We save this. So add two numbers, v1. Now, if you look at our index.html, okay, add two numbers with a capital A. We have a link. We have another ahref in our drop-down menu. Add two numbers v1. Okay, we save. Okay, and then we preview. Okay, JavaScript example. Add two numbers using prompts. It's here now. So I click compute the sum. First, it asks. This is the first prompt. So we'll say 5. Okay, and then the second number 7. That the sum is 12. And there's the link back to home page, so that when you click this, okay, you're back to your home page. Okay, do you follow? Do you get my point? Now we are making a simple JavaScript program embedded inside a simple HTML. You can make a more elaborate HTML by copying the templates that are in W3 schools. However, I suggest that you always have a link. No? Okay. Now we can have another example. This time we can use input boxes. Version 2, what's version 2? Let me check. Add two numbers. Okay. Okay. This time we are going to use an input. No? Do you follow? Okay. Do you follow? What is an input? An input is an HTML tag which will ask for a value from the user. The equivalent for this in C++ is like scanf. Do you follow? Scanf, no? Okay. So for example, let me create my version 2 already, no? We go to HTML, we'll say input, no? We'll look for input HTML. HTML input tag. No? Here it is. No? When you ask for an input, you have to specify the input type. Okay, the input type can either be a text, a button, no, and so on and so forth. In our case, we'll be asking for numbers, so we'll have an input type. Now, the label is the label for the input type. There's a label before the input box. Okay, do you follow? Okay, okay, okay. Let me show you a second version of the compute sum using inputs and labels. Okay, do you follow? So, let me go to my, this is one of your assignments. Okay. Let me go to my W3 spaces. Okay. Bakit nawala, no? I should have logged in already. I should have logged in already. And anyway, it's already logged in. I don't need to retype my. So let me create a new file called add two numbers version 2. Okay. I have a very large, Okay. So to do that, okay, you can say new file. Okay, and then we will rename this. You right click, we'll go here and then rename, and then we'll say add to numbers version 2. Okay. Okay. Now I now have add two numbers version 2. Okay. I can now edit this, and let me show you let me copy the text, the source code. Lazada si sumuk-sumuk. Here it is, no? We have the usual doc type. We have the body. We had two numbers using version 2, using input labels. Okay, do you follow? So we have a P. We usually start with a P for a paragraph, and then we have an NP. So we have label for type the first number, and then input ID is N1. N1 is the name of the variable, no, in HTML. And then label for N2, the second number, and end label. Okay, there's a label tag and an end label tag. And the input ID is N2. We'll say the name is N2. When you have an input, no, you will have to give it a name and an ID. Usually, the name and the ID are the same. Okay, and the type is number. Okay, and then we have a button which is compute sum. Okay, and the on click we will call the script function compute sum here. Okay, so now we have a new function in JavaScript. This is in the introduction. No? Get element by ID. What do you mean by var x and y are just declared as variables? No? They're just like x. When you say x is equal to get element by ID n1 value times 1. Now the times 1 will convert it into a number because n1 is initially a text. Okay, get element by ID. So we'll look at that. Which element is of ID n1? The element of ID n1 is the first number. So which goes to the variable x. When we say y equals get element by ID n2 times 1, that value times 1, okay, y will receive the numeric equivalent of the element, the HTML element with an ID of n2. Which one is that? We have input ID n2. Do you follow? So the second number will go into x. Okay. Console that you can disregard this first. No? The console.log will show you the answer in the console. The console is the backroom of your browser. No? And then we will compute the sum. Let z equals x plus y. And then in our HTML, we have a label, another label for sum, no? Which is the number. And we say read only. This is like a text, but this time this is read only, which means that the user cannot type. When you say you have a read only type, the user cannot type a value here. And the ID here is sum. So we can put elements and assign them IDs, and we can retrieve them in JavaScript and assign them values. Okay. So the ID is sum label. No, the label for sum with the ID sum label. When you say get document element by ID sum label, that inner.html sum label here will have the value, the sum of x and y is. Okay. And then when we get another element ID, which is sum, which is this, no? Which will have a value of the value of z, which is the sum of x and y. Do you follow? Can I save this now? And then I'll go back to my, I'll go. Are you still there? I'm sorry, I got cut off suddenly, no? I don't know why. Everyone, are you still there? Anyway, the recording did not stop. Let me just check the attendance, no? Walang. Who just went in anyway? Valmoria and Kabuga. Anyone else? Valmoria. I got cut off. It just it happens, no? I'm not sure if it's my internet or it's Zoom. Since ano? Who else? Valmoria, Langreo. Yeah. Landicho. Anyone else? Alcantara, are you there? Asombrado, Kalubag, Chang, Chavez, Kabuga is here now. Cordova. Raming absent na. Okay. Decena. Bishar. Digman, I think I saw you. Wala pa si Digman. Eloha.
Sir, nandito po ako, sir.
Digman. Adishar. Sorry. Is Digman here? Not yet. Eloha. Eramis. Stores is Butera. And then Lim has been gone. Mercado, are you there? Yes. Nakamatsu is here. Narca, are you there? Navarez. Perez. Ramirez. Simon. Yap. Zog is here, yes. Okay. So I got cut off when I was writing version 2. Okay. I'll save this. And then I'll go back to my W3 spaces. So let me show you version 2. Version 2 is add two numbers, but this time using inputs and labels. No? Okay. And input and labels are HTML elements or tags which you can use to ask a value from your user. They follow? And you can retrieve them using document.get element by ID. Okay. For example, if you have an input ID named N1, you can get the value by saying get element by ID n1 dot value. Now, multiplying it by 1 converts it into a number. Okay, without having to use parse int or parse float. Okay, and then we compute the sum and get element by that inner.html is a property of the element such that you can change the value of the element on the browser during runtime. Do you follow? To explain this, let us get the effect. No? Okay. Let's go to our main, our index.html. Okay, we'll edit this. Okay. And then we'll have another href. Okay. This version 2. Let's add two numbers using inputs and labels. Labels. Okay. I'm not going to erase this, no. I may erase this during the time that I'll be discussing during the next class, but I'm going to upload this right away. No? So let us go to my website. We'll have to refresh. No? So I now have example number 1, which is using prompts. Example number 2 using labels and inputs. Bakit wala? Add two numbers v2.html. No? That should be the name of the file. Okay. Let me edit that. Add two numbers v2. Capital ang V. Okay, we'll save and then let me check. Capital ang N. Okay, let's rename this. It's not good to. Okay. Now let's go to W3 spaces. Ito, no? Do you follow? So this is N1, this is N2. Okay, this is the label for N1, this is the label for N2, and this is the value compute sum. Do you follow? No? We'll have here, we'll type 24, 36, at 354, we compute sum. The sum is this. No? The bad thing about this is we didn't have the back to home. Okay. So unlike here, no? We have 34, 34. We have back home. No? So anyway, we'll just copy this. No? We'll just copy that href and then do a document that right. Okay. Where am I? Here. Okay. We'll just copy that link. Okay. Ito. This is our packet. Wala. There's so many advertisements. Then I'll go back to V2. We'll put a BR, no? Lagyan natin ng BR. No, this is B1, I'm sorry, no? We'll edit the B2. B1 pa rin, I'm sorry, no? Bakit mali? We keep going to the B1. Ito pala sa taas ang B2. Okay? It's arranged in the reverse order. Okay? Okay? And then, okay. Pwede natin, we can put the BR before. Okay? Because it doesn't look good if you put the BR there, no? Do you follow? We save this. Then we go back to our W3 spaces. We'll just refresh, no? 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, bakit hindi nag-ano? Why don't we write the page before? Hindi na lang document that right, okay? We'll just put this before, after the button, no? Okay? Para meron na tayo dating back page. Okay? Here. Okay, we'll put a BR after the paragraph. Okay. And it's good that we can put this again in another paragraph. No? Itong ano, we put this in another paragraph. So, I hope you're following me now. So that it will really be on a different space. No? Okay. The first paragraph will be the inputs, and the second paragraph is the sum. Okay, and the third paragraph is the home page. Okay, so we do that. So my home page na dito. Okay, they follow 24, 35. Compute the sum. So that's the sum. Okay, you can go back to home page. Okay, and so you can have different combinations. Any questions so far? Now I'll give you a third example where kasi ito, we do away with the compute button. You still have to click the compute button. What we'd like to do is the moment you type, a sum is displayed. Okay? Do you follow? So I have here a sample, no? So we'll have a version 3. Okay. Hanggang anong oras tayo? 9:22. Anyway, let me just check our schedule up to 10:50. So we still have about more than 30 minutes. Okay. So we still have time. We have to make use of time. Okay. So I have here a third version, which is more interactive because it doesn't have a compute button. Okay, so let me go to my W3 schools, W3 spaces. Now you are going to do this. Okay, gagawin nyo ito, no? That's the first assignment. Okay. Wala na ako, no? So let me go back to my space and then I'll add a version 3. We'll rename this. Okay. It's arranged in the reverse. No. P3, it's this. No? Add two numbers B3. Let's edit this. Let me copy the code quickly, no? Para mabilis. Here's what it does. It still has the get. Discard this. It still has the get element by ID of N1 and N2. The same code basically as version 2. No? But however, no, there's no compute button. Okay, there's no compute button. And then we'll just have the on key up. Okay, this time, no? We are using the on key up event, no? On the on key up of N1 and on key up of N2. Okay, so when a key is pressed in N1, in both N1 and N2, the compute sum, the same compute sum that we have, will be executed. Okay. Anyway, let me copy that the back to home first, no? Kasi wala tayong back to home. Version 2. Okay. I'll copy this. Then let me go to version 3. Ito lang problema sa ano, no? Is the problem with W3 spaces. You always go back to the root. Okay. Okay, so meron tayong back to home. We save this. And then I'll go back to my, you can easily get the code, okay? By right clicking. I'll show you how to do that, no? And then I'll go back to my home space. I'll edit this. And then I'll add a third. P3. Automatic sum. So with compute button. Okay. Let me save this. Then let me go back home. Refresh. So I now have 3 numbers, okay? Example 1 pa rin, I'm sorry, no? This should be, let me edit this, okay? This is now example 2, example 3. Okay. JRA value. 2 and 3. Here it is now. 2, 4. Okay. So 3 and 4, it automatically, there's no compute button anymore. If I'll say 55, it automatically says the sum of 55 and 4 is 59. We'll change this. No? Do you follow? This is a more interactive version. No? Now, how do you get the script, the source code? You can right click on this and then view page source. No? So that's exactly the same source code which I've written. Okay? Do you follow? No? So on key up. The on key up event on the label will allow you to automatically call a JavaScript function to compute the sum. And you can go to back to home page. Okay. Okay. So let's edit this better. No? Let's edit this better. Kasi walang pangalan. There's a title, no? Let's have an H1. HTML. Okay, let's have an N. You follow? Let me copy this na lang, no? Let me save this first. 10:50, malayo pa tayo. Okay. So we will go back to this. Meron na, no? Do you follow? Any questions so far? You can look at the web, the examples, no? And then if you go back to this, no? For example, no? Example number 2, you can view the page source. That's the same source that I've shown you. Okay? Do you follow? Any questions? So simple, no? And then you can go back to the home page. Okay. Sample number 1. Add 2 numbers. I can change this, no? Para hindi masyadong ano. Add 2 numbers. Okay. Ito na. Because later I can create another drop down button. Okay. I can create another button here. No? For example, for my other examples. Okay. So let's refresh. Press this. Okay. What's the no? No, it did not change, no? So hindi ko pa ito na-save. Let me refresh this. Add 2 numbers, JavaScript examples, okay? They follow, so medyo, you will enjoy this if you try, okay? The only thing is you need to try it the first time. And yeah, you can put your pictures there, like, sino yung gumawa na? You can put a lot of examples. You can borrow a template from W3 schools. No? Okay, and then I will have other sets of examples here. Okay, now I'd like to show you your first assignment, by the way. All assignments are due on November 3. I've already launched them. No? So the first assignment for programming, they're all due the same date. Okay. Tanda lang ha. Okay. So anyway, so the first programming assignment that you're supposed to do is like this. You are going to do conversion. No? You can do it any way you like, but the example I'm showing you is simple computations. No, Fahrenheit to Celsius, Celsius to Fahrenheit, meters to feet, feet to meters. Do you follow? Okay. Any questions? Okay. So it's like this, no? Convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. So we say 212. Okay. So the Fahrenheit equivalent of 212 is 413.6. Okay. Okay. 413. Okay. I'm not going to show you this. Okay, because you can easily view the page source. Okay. Just one page. Okay. And then meters to feet. So we say meters to feet, 1 meter. It's equivalent to 3.28 feet. Convert feet to meters. 3.2. Okay. Do you follow? Any questions? No? So that's your first assignment. Okay. One page lang ito, no? Let me edit that. Isa lang, no? Isang ano lang, isang HTML document. Okay. So that's the first program that you're supposed to do. So you Celsius to Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit to Celsius, meters to feet, feet to meters. Any questions? No? Okay. The second program is an application on if then else, no? Okay. I-edit ko muna ito, no? Let me edit this first because there's something wrong with this. Paano ba to? I'm sorry. The HTML, there it is. Okay. Hindi na ito prompts, no? This time you are not allowed to use prompts anymore. Okay. Okay. The income tax program. Okay. Okay. So for example, if you have the income tax is actually a tax that any working Filipino should pay the government given how much income he or she earns, regardless whether he earns it from salary or from business. No? So if you have a yearly income of 250,000, you are tax exempt, which means that you do not have to pay tax to the government. So people like people who are earning the minimum wage, okay, may may not have to pay income tax. Okay, but if for example the income tax is over 250 and 400, okay, the income tax payable is 20% of the excess over 250. Do you follow? Do you follow? You can disregard what is there, no? Okay, 20%. So which means you have to deduct the 250 from the actual income and then compute the 20%. That's the income tax payable. Okay. Okay. So anyway, that's the income. That's the second program. And then if the income tax, if the income is 400,000 to 800, the income tax is 30,000 plus 25% of the excess of 400. Do you follow? No. This is an application on if then else. No. If else statements in JavaScript, they're the same if else in C#. Okay. Do you follow? No. So this is due on November 3. Let's make this November 3. Disable na lang, no? The third program is, what's the third program? But the last program is a payroll program. Okay. Nth factorial and average, no? So this is, you ask for a number n, and you compute the nth factorial, okay? Do you follow? So 4 programs that will compose 30% of your final grade in this course. 70% will come from your summative test. Okay. So the fourth program is a payroll program. Okay. I'm going to show you the anyway. Also due on November 3, so you have the yes. Okay. You will ask for I'm going to show you an example on this, no? The payroll program. I'm going to show you a shopping cart which you will convert into a payroll program. Okay. Any questions so far? So first, the first program is due. I'm just setting this to November 3 so that you will have all the time to write the code yourself. Okay. So next meeting, I'm going to introduce you to meron na tayong job confirm, data types, variables, no? Okay. JavaScript functions, no? Label, we have already discussed this. Linking to other pages, we have discussed the ahref. Do you follow? There's an example there in our website. In my website, no? jraheralde.w3spaces.com. Okay. Any questions so far? Any questions? Okay. So I'm going to upload this. I don't think there's something wrong with our recording, no? So everyone, no? You make a website in W3 Spaces, or if you have another preferred site, you can do it yourself. However, you will not be allowed to take the JavaScript, or rather the summative test on November 5, 4 and 5 if you don't have the website, because you will not have the example, okay? You will not have the assignments. Any questions so far? Okay. Do you want us to proceed to one more lesson? Kaya pa ba natin? So we have covered, what have we covered? We have covered, okay, prompt. You can also use confirm, no? You try that yourself. We have prompt, we have document that write, document that get element by ID, and then we have input and label, and we have ahref. Okay? The ahref and the button tags, no? Ito yung how to create button tags, no? Okay? The button, and then the input and label tags. Okay? So, Okay. Alert and prompt. What will alert do? It will just give you a warning. No? There's just an OK button. Okay, and an OK button. Okay. Prompt will ask for a value. What will confirm do? It will give you, ask for you an OK, yes or no. But this time it will be OK or cancel. No? They follow? What, there are only two data types. No? Now in C#, what are C++, what are the different data types? You have int, float. Do you have float or double? You have car and so on. In C#, there are only strings and numbers. Okay, do you follow? To declare a string, you just say var a or let a and assign it a string value like this. Okay, and to declare a number, you just say var a or let a, no, equals the number itself. No, that makes it a number. Okay, and it's not, it doesn't matter when you do an alert or when you do a prompt, it doesn't matter whether it's a string or an or a number. Everything will be converted into strings. Okay, there are also, however, Boolean data types pala, no? True or false. There's a value true, there's a value false. No, in C++, the value false is 0 and the non-zero is a true. Okay, a null data type. A null data type is the same null in C++. Now we will use object data types. No, later. No, when we do shopping carts. No, an object data type is an array of different data types. Like it's an object of names. No, okay, like a pair. No, okay. An object which has a property and a value. Okay, an object is a pair of a property and a value. For example, you have a car object has a property model, no, and a property color and a property doors. No, an object person has a property name, surname, and age. Do you follow? We have an array data type, which is exactly the same data type in C++. Functions are created the same way. Do you follow? Okay. We start with var greeting function. I think var is optional, no? Or another way is just say function. Okay. Function. This is a uniquely different from C#, no? Because in C# you specify a return value, no? This time we return anything. Okay. We have type of operators, no? Which will return objects, undefined, Boolean, strings, and numbers. No? Later we will talk about the comparison, no? Operators, equals, double equals, and triple equals. No? Walang triple equals sa C++. Okay? Okay, 10:50. We're about 10 minutes short. So I think that's enough for the moment, no? Data types. Variables, no? Here is what a variable is, no? That's how you declare. How do you declare variables? Let is also the same as var. The main difference between a var and a const is fixed to a value. You cannot change the value of a const. A const stands for constant. Okay. Any questions so far? So we are trying to hurry up, no? Assignment. How do we do assignment? Using var, using let, and using const. Because we can assign values to variables using var, let, and const. No? Can we do it directly? No. You have to use let or let afterwards. No, let is the no, pwede pala, no? The assignment operator equals, okay, in JavaScript is an assignment operator. Okay? Do you follow? No? So, how do you write functions? You start with the reserved word function, the name of the function, and the parameters of the function. The parameters of the function should not have data types. Okay? Do you follow? Because the main difference between JavaScript and C++ is automatic typing, no? Which means that a variable will automatically have the type of the value that is assigned to it. Okay? Any questions so far? Any questions? So, mabilis na tayo ngayon, no? Okay. So, you have your first, this brings you to the first, to the first assignment, which is simple computations in JavaScript. Next meeting, we'll start with conditional statements. And then I will show you grade computation, switch, no? And then you will have an assignment for income tax calculator. So we may need 3 more meetings, no? 1 meeting for branching, and 1 meeting for 1 or 2 meetings for looping. Okay? Do you follow? So you have how many meetings more? 1, 2, 3. So mabilisan tayo, no? Do you follow? Any questions so far? Okay, so next meeting, I'll try to cover 2 long sessions, 2 long topics, no? Branching and looping. Isahin ko na lang ito. Okay? Branching and looping, and then maybe we'll cover random numbers, no? And JavaScript objects. I'll show you the shopping cart. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay. I'll upload all the source code to my JRA Heralde at w3spaces.com. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So see you next meeting, no? Thanks for coming, everyone. November 4 and 5 is our schedule for our summative test. Okay. Thanks everyone for coming. Okay.
Thank you, sir.